Hey everybody, Alex here, and welcome to another exciting episode, the Christmas episode of Video Games Gaiden. Once again, I am joined by my forever co-host, Emperor Foxx. Foxx, happy holidays, man. It's been a while. Tell
Ho
me.
ho 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 ho! Yeah, it has been a while.
All
Well,
right,
you know,
I'm just
there-
listen. I'm putting it out there right now. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. Last time we said, which I think by my math was 5 dog years ago, that we were going to play a Yu-Gi-Oh game and we were going to duel, and I was going to try to figure out the sorcery to record the whole thing so everybody could see my infinity combos using dark magicians, but somebody in that amount of time could not figure out how to play the game, and it wasn't me. So what happened?
that's absolutely correct. So I went into it with positive mindset. Going into it, I popped
Yeah,
in, I bought
positively didn't
Yu-Gi-Oh.
want to learn it.
Hold on. I did give it a college try. So I popped it into my Switch, bought it, put it in there, and I was trying to play it. I went through every game just to see how they all start. None of them teach you how to play the game. None of them. So I was like, all right, this is difficult. So I messaged you. I was like, is there like a method how to play this? Because none of these fucking games teach me how to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Just watch the show. That's all it is. The
And
show
maybe I should have
teaches
done
you.
that. I didn't even try to watch the actual anime or anything like that. So uh, I got distracted for a while, squirrels, playing some random game. And then I went back to it. I was working some night shifts and I was like, perfect time. Let me get on YouTube. Let me watch some learn to play videos. And I was learning the mechanics and all that other stuff, when their cards are sideways or when they're vertical, and stuff like that. What does that mean? Their power, the defense, all that stuff. And I did probably 3 hours of video watching just to try to learn this. I come home like a few days later, I boot up the game, and I still had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I couldn't change the decks. I went to go battle, and it was telling me, you don't have enough cards. And I looked in there, I was like, I have 40 cards. It says it right there. I had such a hard time trying to play this game, and then I had to throw in the white towel. I was just like, damn it, I can't figure this out. I'm so sorry, Alex.
See, now this is the thing that drives me nuts. Not at you, but just in general. This is the most rudimentary version of the Yu-Gi-Oh games today because you don't have to deal with Xe summoning, pendulum summoning, fusion summoning, side fusion decks, XYZ uh materials and everything else. This is literally you sacrifice a card, you bring out another card. You sacrifice 2 cards, you bring out a super card. I do not understand how this happened because I was like, oh, this is the most basic version. There's
I
no
so
way in
tried.
hell.
Man, I was looking at it and I was like, all right, let me get into a battle. I couldn't even get into a damn battle in the game because it kept arguing with me that my deck wasn't legal. And I was like, I just
Oh
started the
yeah, that is the
game.
thing. That is the thing.
And I was like, I had no idea what to do. And this comes from a guy who plays arguably the most difficult
I
TCG,
know.
Magic.
I
And
know. That's why I was like, what the hell happened?
I have no idea. Like it wouldn't let me into battle. If that game would have let me battle from the start, I probably would have been able to do it. But it just was like arguing with me, and I go in there and I tried to customize the starter deck that I bought in the game. It said, "Go buy a starter deck." I bought a starter deck, and I was walking over to go battle, and I was talking to the people because apparently you can battle anybody, almost anybody on the streets and stuff. And it was like, your deck is illegal. I was like, what the hell do you mean? I couldn't
I
figure it out. And I was like, Alex, I failed. I failed. And I'm sorry. We need to call an audible.
called an audible like 4 months later. Like I made it. I literally is I'm just gonna say I've remade my deck from when I was a kid, which is completely illegal now. It had it had numbers of cards you're not supposed to have. Like, you know how like in Magic the cap is 3? In
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh, some of them are 1, some are 2, some are 3. Some are just plain out banned. I had 3 Pot of Greeds. I had 3 Graceful Charities. You're not allowed to have either in a deck anymore. And but doing that, and I actually, my buddy Pat, he bought the game too. So he and I dueled like we used to when we were kids, and we are both laughing because I'm just drawing cards constantly. He's like, "Yeah, that would not happen today at all." Because Pot of Greed's like draw 2 cards, and Graceful Charities draw 3 cards, discard 2. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to use Monster Reborn to bring this one back, and then I'm going to use Call of the Haunted to bring back this other one. So I've effectively summoned like 5 things, and I have no cards. So if I don't win in this turn, I lose. Like,
Wow.
like there was so much of that, and he was just like, oh, so like we had a blast. But then after that, he was like, he tried to play with the modern rules because I learned the modern rules when I got back into it. And he's like, this is stupid. He's like, there's too much shit to do now. And there was arguably a lot of shit to do originally. But he always like, he goes by theme and art first. So
Okay.
like his deck was a legendary fisherman deck. Knowing the legendary fisherman isn't really that great, but he just loves the artwork. So
Okay.
he made a pretty good damn deck, and it was all like water themed, which was actually pretty cool. And I play a dark magician deck, so everything with me rotates around magicians and magic and sorcery and stuff. But then you play some decks that are pure meta. So, like, you know, if it's like their first move is like 10 hours long, and if they misdraw 1 card, they just quit because they're like, yeah, I fucked up my turn, and that's it.
Oh, yeah, they're
So
done.
like when you play online, I'd be sitting there like this the whole time, and then I'd be like, oh no, he fucked up, like he didn't get the card he needed, and then sure enough, boom, just folds. I was like, there you go. 10 in a row. I won 10 times in a row due to people not getting the cards they wanted.
Wow.
And I'm just sitting there bored the whole time. So I was looking forward to a very rudimentary game of Yu-Gi-Oh with silliness going back and forth, and I was sorely disappointed. So, after the Audible, folks, was inevitably called, here we are in the month of December, and I thought, you know what? I personally had to call an Audible due to life, so why not have a Christmas special? So, jumping ahead a little bit, I picked out a list of games myself because for me, I like to play games that remind me of being a kid during the Christmas time. The holidays for me, as much as I love Christmas, it's a little emotionally stressful and taxing for different reasons, right? And I'm not talking going to the in-laws' place for Thanksgiving. That's awkward enough as it is when you have to have 5 Thanksgivings is in one day. But I look at, you know, a retro game, a feel-good RPG, something along those lines. So I presented a list here to Foxx, and it was down to 2 games. It was either Visions of Mana or Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. And ultimately, Rugrats Adventures in Gameland won, which we'll discuss towards the end. But the way we chose this, since we didn't do a random number generator, is I picked the most disgusting foods I could think of and told him he had to eat one of them, and whichever one he picked would be the game we played. So for those of you that are curious, I said you had to pick either aspic, which is spelled ASPIC. Don't look it up. Look it up. Or head cheese. And I assure you, head cheese is not fromage. I completely expected Visions of Mana to come up, and it didn't. But honestly, I think it worked out best that it was Rugrats. But let's get into the show proper. y'all know who Foxx is, so we're just going to go right into the 3 random questions, and they're holiday themed.
Yes.
So, first question off the bat. One of them I think I know the answer to, but I'm going to ask anyway for everybody else at home. What is your least favorite thing about the holiday season?
Okay. Well, a lot of the answers I know, this is probably a general answer for probably most husbands out there or any spouse for that matter. And it's extended family is usually one of the problems. You like to see them, but the stay's too long. But that's not entirely the worst part. My pet peeve when it comes to the holidays and family come over to visit or something like that is if they bring their damn pets.
That's just obnoxious. I'm
It's
just gonna come out and
obnoxious.
say it.
Yeah, they're gonna do something. You know it's gonna happen. They're gonna crap on your rug or pee or somewhere, and it's by accident because that's not their house. They don't know what the hell they're doing, but it's always gonna happen. And I kind of treat pets like kids. You like your own kid. You don't like anybody else's.
It's funny you say that because my mom always used to say my uncle hated kids, but he liked me, and that was it.
You were his kid, man.
Technically, when I asked him to be my godfather as a kid, my mom's like, I never saw him ugly cry so bad in my life.
Oh,
He was like, I can't believe he asked me. Mom's like, there was nobody else to ask. Relax. Yeah, that's the thing. My personal least favorite. Actually, let me go back to yours. I had a feeling you were gonna say family, but I thought it was gonna be like mine, where somebody shows up with a bottle of something and they're not gonna leave until it's empty, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sakes, go home.
yeah. You're like, no, go home.
It
My
used to
social
drive my
battery is.
it used to drive my grandfather crazy. Like he would literally just go up to him and be like, do you have a bed? Are you homeless? Like, what's going on? Why aren't you going home? My mom would be mortified. She'd be like, "Oh my god, Dad, stop."
But you like the brutal truth coming from there.
Oh, as a kid, I cracked up. Like I was just like, my mom was like, you know how like people don't have a filter or have a problem with a filter. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. She's like, your grandfather never had one. Like he would literally just, it was like borderline like dictatorship. Like he would just say the first thing that came to his mind, whether it was politically correct or not, and then he'd be like, whatever. Okay, now between now being a parent, which you are,
Mhm.
and having your own child, and having memories as a child at Christmas, which of the two do you prefer? Do you prefer sitting from the parental side or being the kid during the Christmas season?
Oh, this is kind of hard. So the problem is you got the generational changes. So what kids are into now aren't necessarily things you were into when you were a kid. So my answer is when I was a kid, I prefer, those memories. Making new memories with your own child, that's still fantastic, great and all, but you try to do things that you did when you were a kid. Like I'll try to show my kids some of my favorite Christmas movies and he loathes them. He doesn't like them. He feels like empathy for the bad guy or something like Home Alone, for instance. He's like, why is he doing all those horrible things to those guys? you know? So you're like, oh, well, this isn't going as planned.
Yeah, my mom always used. My mom loved Christmas, but she always said like when you have from the parent side, she's like she preferred it when I got older. Like if like when I moved out, like I would come to the house and I'd be like, when are we eating? And she'd be like, when you get in the kitchen and help me, like that sort of thing. She liked that. I mean, she liked it when I was a kid too, but she said like, when she was a kid, it was her, my grandparents, her two brothers, and it was a mess, like just in general, because it was like the 60s.
Yeah.
So, she's like, when you were like a teenager in college and stuff like that, I could have a conversation with you, as opposed to be like, go back to sleep. Santa isn't here yet. And if you stay awake, Santa's not going to show up, like that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's going to definitely be the case when they're old enough to just have those conversations with you, and it's more worthwhile instead of, you get the joy of excitement when the kids are excited when the morning comes and they're opening the presents and stuff. That's cool. But you don't get to have those genuine conversations because, they got new toys. I got all this stuff. Thanks, Mom. And they're gone.
Yeah, vanish. All right, now last question. And this one's controversial and can start a lot of arguments, but I'm going to ask it.
All right.
Real tree or fake tree?
Fake tree. Not even a question. Fake tree.
We can't be friends anymore. I'm sorry. You have to you have to have a real tree. I'm sorry.
I appreciate.
What do you do? Spray
team.
Glade to get the evergreen smell? Come on.
So here's the thing. Here's my thing: is real trees are a goddamn mess.
Who cares? It's part of the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, all the pine needles falling on the floor. Sometimes there's bugs that fall out of them because they've been outside for a long time. And now that you brought that cold ass tree inside, they defrost and come to life, and you get bugs in your house. And then they, if you're like a family that likes to start their celebrations early, the weekend after Thanksgiving, you start getting your decorations up. You can't get a real tree that soon. That sucker will dry up, and now you have a fire hazard in your house.
So, I was gonna say, like, this year we're not doing a tree because of stuff with the cat, like his kidney problems, and he likes to drink the water. So, thus we're like, let's just not do that at all for his health. But let me tell you, I mean, I love a real tree. I will get a real tree all day, every day. But the pine needle thing, I will to this day I still vacuum up pine needles from 5 years ago. Like I don't know where they went, but they keep coming back. And there's no little trees in my house. But the other part that I will ask, when was the last time you had a real tree?
I don't even remember having a real tree, to be honest with you. I think
Dang.
We did a family vacation when I was a kid. So my grandfather bought or rented a cabin
Cool.
at Lake Tahoe, in Nevada. So all the family flew out. All the family. It was just this big old cabin, and he got a big ass real tree, and that's the one I remember as a kid. I don't think we had one when I was a little guy. I'm not sure. The ones I remember were all the fancy, nice fake ones and stuff like that. But that's the only one I remember being a real tree, was when a family Christmas trip.
Yeah, I remember. So when you get your tree, you have a tree currently, right?
Mm-hmm. Multiple.
Does it have?
Actually,
Does it have the? Do they have the lights on them, or do you go through the pain and suffering of doing it yourself?
good question, and I like this question a lot because before I would buy pre-lit trees, with the lights already installed. But the problem with that is if it's a fake tree, you're going to keep it for many years, hopefully 10, 15 years, before it starts falling apart. But those lights, you're lucky if they last 3 years on that tree before strands start going out on them. And then you got this blank spot in your tree. And if you're just like a perfectionist like I am with decorating my trees, it's like unacceptable. Now I got to get the matching lights, make sure they're the right, because if it's white lights, you got to make sure they're the right shade because one will it'll stand out if it's super bright or if it's a soft white or something like that. So nowadays, I buy purposely not a lit tree because then I can run my own lights on them, and I don't care if the lights go out because I can replace the strand.
You see, my mom always liked white lights. Katie and I we like the colored lights. We like, as I put it, we like it to look like it's carnival. But
Okay.
my mom was like, the tree has to be elegant. It has to be, you know, balls, glass balls. The Christmas illuminated balls with white lights. And Katie and I are like, no, we want decorations of Mickey Mouse and Charlie Brown and the Hess truck. And like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I have all the video game ones, like, the Genesis, the Dreamcast, all that. Heavy as hell. Like half the tree is like collapsing on itself because each of those decorations is like 8 pounds. Uh, but there's like, and I have a Diet Coke ornament as well, which always
Of
sits at the
course.
top. I have like five. But like for us, it's like it's a very much us. It's like every time we do a tree, it's like we have a lot of decorations, so we to the point where we have more decorations than a tree actually needs. So we have to like curate it. Like, okay, no, we're not going to do this one this year. Like, we're going to do these. Um, but then we have like mainstays, like the Disney ones and all that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I remember as a kid, and maybe you remember this too, Hallmark, at least I think it was Hallmark. I mean, they still do like their limited edition ornaments, but do you remember the ceramic ones they used to do with the peanuts and all that stuff back in the day?
Yes. And there was a company that still does them, and I can't remember what they're called, but they still do those ceramic style ornaments. But yeah,
I
I know what
remember
you're talking about.
I remember seeing like a commercial for them as a kid, and I literally asked for them for Christmas.
Wow.
Like that's how cool I thought they were. And my mom got the full set. Not for me, for her. But she got the full set. She got the full set. It was like
Oh
what was it? It
man.
was Snoopy on top of his house. It was Charlie Brown with like the small tree. It
Yep.
was Lucy ice skating, and I think there was one of Woodstock covered in like tinsel or something.
Probably Linus or not Linus Schroeder on the piano.
Yeah, maybe Schroeder too.
Yeah.
But
So
I
yeah.
remember
Sorry. Go ahead and
those.
finish.
And then the Hess truck. I had a Hess truck too.
Classic. I used to get those when I lived in Florida because everywhere had Hess stuff. Because here in Colorado we don't have Hess stations. But when I was in Florida, we had you get the Hess trucks every year. Everybody bought the Hess trucks, either the ornaments or the truck for your kid to play with.
They still do that?
Yeah, they do.
Really? That
So,
I
like you, too many damn ornaments. One year, my wife bought me like this huge ornament organizer that rolls on wheels and it extends up so you can put all your ornaments in these individual little pockets and stuff like that. So I had so many. So in our house, it's partially my fault because my affinity for ornaments is we have four trees, four. So in our living room, we have a nicely decorated, like a farmhouse style tree, some pretty ornaments on it, like balls and pine cone looking things, maybe a little ribbon and stuff like that with the traditional white lights. In my basement in the family room, that's the fun tree. That has all the ornaments that make noises and shit like that, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation stuff, Peanuts, random ornaments that are favorite shows, Office Guys or something like that. And all that stuff goes on that tree. And then from when I was a kid, I always loved Star Trek. And my parents would buy me the little Star Trek ship ornaments that, you would plug into the little light strands and they would light up when you turned on the tree. I had so many of those and they keep making them. So I have another tree in the corner that's just loaded with Star Trek ships.
That's
And
fun. That's kind of fun actually.
Yeah, I love that tree. And then in my game room, I have a small tree where I put all the gaming ornaments on. You know how Hallmark makes the systems now. Almost they release one every year, or random Mario stuff or Sonic stuff's on there and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fun. But now I understand why you go with fake trees. If you had like 5 real trees, the house would probably burn down.
Yeah, probably.
Because I mean, our apartment runs very hot, so like we're like get the tree like a week and a half before Christmas and hope it makes it to Christmas Day because we host.
Okay.
Um, and then usually day after on New Year's morning is when I get rid of the tree, which drives Katie crazy because she wakes up and the tree's just gone, and
The
she's
house
like,
is
"It's New
naked
Year's."
now.
No, she's like, A, the tree is gone. I'm not happy. And B, it's New Year's Day. Why the hell are you up at 5 in the morning? Sober. I'm like, I don't know. Just
That's
wake up.
Alex.
That's what I do. If anybody ever has a baby and needs somebody to keep him up at 4 in the morning, give me a call. I'm available. Oh, that's yeah. See, but that's the whole thing. Like, I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, but and I to keep it politically correct, it is the holiday season. But for me, it's just a general time of celebration. Everybody has their own traditions, right? But
Yeah.
I do think around this time of the year, as a kid, it doesn't matter what you celebrate, but the energy is infectious. At least I feel like when we were kids.
Hmm.
Once the season comes around, this is when I started to see, my early onset anxiety and insomnia leading up into Christmas because I couldn't wait, you know? And it wasn't even just for like the gifts and stuff, which as a kid, let's admit that's the first thing you look forward to.
Of course.
But it was just the energy of the season, right? You know, I went to Catholic school. So around this time of the year, they'd set up the Advent calendars. I'm like, oh, it's that stupid calendar. I don't want the Advent calendar. I want the Christmas. It's the third candle lit yet. Come on, are we there yet? Are we there yet? But I feel like as time went on as a kid, there's certain games that just hold memories, whether they were Christmas gifts or not. So, in the spirit of the season, we're going to basically round robin style go through 5 games that we either received at Christmas or that we attribute to the holiday season and this time of the year and just spending time with the family. As well as one game that we wish we could forget ever happened in our holiday gift receiving life, I think. And then we'll get into the game du jour. So, guest
I
always
gotta
goes
I gotta
first.
interrupt real quick, Alex. I want to throw in
Get
one thing in there.
what's that?
Memorable TV from
Oh,
when you were a kid.
now, Christmas special or not?
Sure. It could be Christmas special or just a Christmas episode of your favorite show.
Okay, so if we're going with Christmas episode, not actually no. Well, let me back it up. My Christmas tradition with my uncle, which I still do to this day with Katie, on Christmas Eve, we always used to watch animated Christmas specials and TV shows. Flintstones, the Jetsons, their spoof of It's a Wonderful Life,
Yeah.
Smurfs, both of them, both of those Smurf specials. My absolute favorite is the Garfield Christmas special from back in the day when they go to the farmhouse, right?
Yes.
But we always ended with a Disney Christmas Carol. There you go. There you go. That's the one.
That's
Electrical
the one.
contracting and insomnia. So we always used to end it with a Disney Christmas Carol. So when Katie moved in, I told her about and the funny thing is my mom knew about this tradition too that I have with my uncle even after he passed. And when I moved out, there was one year where my dad wanted to do, because my dad's half Italian. He's like, I
Hmm.
want to do the Italian Christmas on Christmas Eve. And my mom basically like put a hand up and was just like, no, Alex has to go watch his cartoons. Like, let him go. But it's not like 2 or 3. Like we're talking like a 5-hour marathon. Like this would start at 6 and end at 11.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but I have like I have a whole collection. Um, but besides the Garfield one, my favorite one's a little strange. But I'll get to that one in a minute. I'm jumping around here. We always end it with Disney Christmas Carol because
Okay.
Scrooge McDuck is the most superior of all Disney ducks. He's my absolute favorite Christmas Disney character. And believe it or not, Scrooge McDuck actually has a short where he explains the benefits of economics and understanding economics. And as a kid, that's what got me interested in economics,
Well, that's wild. That's cool.
which Katie called bullshit on. Then I showed her the short, and she goes, "Oh yeah, no, you talk about all that crap. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense." But it's like from the '60s, like it's crazy. It's horribly outdated. But anyway, so we always used to end with that. And then when Katie moved in, I told her, "Listen, my uncle and I used to do this thing. Do you think you would entertain doing this with me?" So every year we do it, and we've been doing it ever since she moved in. Like we've been doing this every single year. But over the past 2 years, I've noticed she's started to realize there's a theme and an order to all the shows I watch. And she goes, "Do we have to start with the Garfield one? Can't we jump right to the Muppet Christmas Carol? Can we watch the Smurf one? Or maybe we can just watch that stupid one with the dentist." I'm like, "Oh, the Rankin Bass ones?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, we could jump to those." But my absolute favorite one, and this is very obscure, it's called The Life and Times of Santa Claus. Are you familiar with this one?
I I don't think so. I might have, I'm just not familiar with the title.
So it's one of the Rankin Bass ones.
Okay.
And it's, it's essentially it's based on a book that actually got banned in a lot of countries because it tied in some of the, and y'all are gonna fall asleep. It ties in some of the pagan beliefs that helped create Christmas. So Santa Claus is discovered by the wood elves and the nymphs and is raised by a tigress named Shiegra, who
Whoa.
is commanded by the Lord of the Forest, the Great Ak, to raise him as his own, as her own, so that the child can eventually go from the realm of the immortals into the realm of man. But considering he has never actually been to the mortal realm, which is technically Midgard, he takes him down there to see the world, and he sees poverty. He sees injustice. He sees, like, unhappy children, and it breaks his heart. So he says he wants to live with them so he can understand. And one day he's bored and he's whittling away, and he makes the world's first toy. And then he decides he wants to give toys to all the children. And, he does that. But then he finds out that the world is bigger than the area he lives in. But he can't possibly go around the entire world. So the Great Act gives him magical reindeer from his friend, Tom Nook. I think his name is Tom Nook, who speaks the language of all animals. So now he has, like, this contingent of elves, which are from the immortal realm, to help him because everybody over there is rooting for him. But then the trolls descend upon him and steal all the toys, and there's a war to get the toys back.
Wow. I have not seen this.
And the whole purpose of the story is the Great Act is having a meeting with the Council of Immortals to give Santa Claus immortality because of all the good he has done because he's about to die.
What?
It is the most wild thing you will ever see. Just look at, you can find the DVD on Amazon. It's called The Life and Times of Santa Claus.
I'm gonna look it up.
It
I'm
is
definitely gonna look it up.
it is crazy. And it was based on a book, and the book got banned because all
because of pagan beliefs.
Yeah, like you
That's
see,
wild.
like when you the great act has like the antlers and everything, and he looks like Father Time. And there's like another guy who's like he looks like a troglodyte, and he has a wizard hat on, and he talks and whistles, and then birds show up. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
So I made Katie watch it, and she was like, "I need a drink." She's like, "This is the most stupid thing ever." She's like, "It's like Lord of the Rings, but with Santa Claus." And my uncle showed me that one because he loved that one too. Because my uncle liked Norse mythology, and I like Norse mythology. So he's like, "You'll love this one." I showed it to my mom. My mom fell asleep. She's like, "I don't know what the hell this is." She's like, "Give me Dudley Moore as in the Santa Claus. Give me that, please." But that was
That's cool.
that's my favorite Christmas movie. But if we're talking favorite Christmas episode, hmm. I mean, honestly, they're all riffs off of classic Christmas stories, if you think about it.
So a lot of them are, but I lean more towards like for me, growing up, my family loved watching sitcoms, and granted, we grew up in probably the golden era of sitcoms, the 80s and
Yeah.
90s. So we got a lot of good stuff. But the ones that always stick with me as some of the best, like just Christmas episodes, were from Home Improvement.
See, I never
Yeah,
liked that. I never liked that show.
not everybody did. It was one that I grew up with, and it's one I adore. It's one of my favorites. But the thing that I liked the most were the how much they went in with Christmas episodes, but they weren't retold stories. So they came up with their
Mm.
own ideas of how they were going to tell these Christmas stories and stuff, or how they incorporated the family into these different types of, sitcom episodes of, what they're going through. And they made it so Christmassy and, very holiday magic and all that stuff. Always ended with a great smile and stuff like that. So those are some that I really remember. And some of the Simpsons episodes were also particularly good.
Oh, with Santa's Little Helper. I remember that
Yeah,
one.
the very first Simpsons episode was a Christmas episode.
Yep.
And that's where they got Santa's
That I
little
remember
heifer.
when he got the mom tattoo.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the other favorite
Moth?
ones, the the uh, the Disney afternoon shows like
Oh,
Goof
there's too
Troop.
many. There's too many. There's too many. There is a good Goof Troop one actually. It's
Yes,
on
there
one of
is.
the. It's I think it's on the House of Mouse Christmas special, where it's like Goofy believes in Santa and Max doesn't.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's a good one.
yep. And then of course the classic like the Donald Duck with his nephews and stuff. That Christmas episode was pretty good too. It was a really old
What?
one.
Oh, the one with the snowball fight on the lake,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is a pain in the ass to find on any
Hmm.
form of like anything. That one's one of my favorites.
Yes, yes.
And what was it? One of the other classic ones, Santa's Toy Shop, which is just like, I mean, I have friends who are professional animators who will watch that and be like, there is no purpose to this show, to this short, other than to show you, look at the chops of our studio. Look at the amount of movement in the foreground. You know the one where like the elves are making the toys and there's just constant motion and it's all
Yes.
fluid and there's no mistakes. That is literally like a resume. That is literally what that was for. He's like no animator in their right mind does this without cutting corners and saving frames. He's like it's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the other one where Huey, Dewey, and Louie get stuck like in Groundhog Day, and Christmas morning resets over and over again.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one too.
I remember one with Chip and Dale too, and I can't quite remember what it
Oh, the
was.
one with the no, not Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but the one where they're in the tree and
Yes, in the
Pluto's trying.
tree.
That's a good one too.
Yes, that's a good one where because they cut down the tree and bring them inside, and they're
Yeah, your biggest fear. You're bringing
Yeah.
Chippendale into your.
See, there's freaking chipmunks in the damn tree.
God damn it! Oh man, yeah, but and you see, I don't know if they still do stuff like this anymore, but it's like, I mean, whether you believe in it or not, I feel like it's just fun.
Yeah. It's just fun. It's
I
just
think, you know.
positivity. And yeah, you just have fun with it.
Now, one more question. Three random questions have just turned into like, let's just reminisce. But this is another controversial one. I'm dedicating this one to Steve-O Supremo.
All right.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
So I've listened to people, including Bruce Willis, talk about this. And a lot of people are convinced it just happens to be an action movie that takes place during Christmas
Be
instead of it
careful.
being
Be
a Christmas
careful.
movie. But you know what? I watch it every year during Christmas time.
Yes, that's the right answer. That is the right answer. We can be
You
friends
know what else I
again.
watch? Die Hard 2 as well, because it's the same thing.
He's just trying to get home.
But it's during Christmas.
Oh man, I miss those movies so much. I mean, God bless him and everything that's going on with him. But
Yeah.
all right, so let's get on to this. All right, we're doing 5 games round robin style that we attribute to the Christmas season and holiday cheer and the holiday spirit. You're going first. What's your first one?
All right. First game that I'm picking is Donkey Kong Country. This got to me, I believe it was my 4th or 5th birthday. I can't, or not birthday, but Christmas. My birthday happens to be close to Christmas, so those lines blur sometimes. Anyway, so for Christmas, I opened up the Donkey Kong Country SNES combo set, and it was my first
Dang,
Super
you were late
Nintendo.
then.
I was very late. I think this was 94 because that's roughly around when Donkey Kong
Yeah, it
Country
was
came out.
94, yeah. Cuz I got mine
So,
like 92.
yeah, so I think that was 5th grade. So I was late. I was playing the NES for damn near a decade. And so I got that super excited. And that was become one of my best memories because I remember just playing the hell out of Donkey Kong Country and just loving that game. And listening to the music because the game cart had the music tracks you could, listen to, and I'd listen to all the boss music and stuff like that and love that game. It's one of my biggest Christmas memories as far as getting a game and a console at the same time.
So, did you stick with the series after that, or because for me, I dropped off after Donkey Kong Country 1.
Oh, I stuck with it, and you might see a game return here later on this list.
Donkey Kong Country 2. so, so I'm starting off with one that was later in life for me. I'm going with Final Fantasy 11, and
Oh,
reason for that is because it's an MMO, and I actually have a lot of Christmas memories tied to that game because they would always do a holiday event. And honestly, the holiday events were stupid. It was like, oh, go talk to this Moogle, and then he'll give you like snowflakes, and then you can throw them around, and it looks like it's snowing around your character. All that stupidity. Who gives a rat's ass? What I liked is they changed the town music to something a little bit more Christmassy. And ultimately, it sounded like generic town music, but they put like jingle bells over it. So it sounded like a sleigh was going by, that
yeah.
just constantly. And then they would have like light snow, like an overlay going through. So the main town was Juneau. And I always used to hang out in the port because I was always traveling around. And you would just have like the airships coming in with the snow. And then you would have like this like and I always had the game music off because I was listening to my own music. But
Yep.
during this time of the year, I always turned it on. And it's like, you can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music. Just like, look, I think it's called Starlight Festival Music or something like that. It's on my
Okay.
phone. It's like I still listen. Like this time of the year, I always want to listen to it. And the only real memory I have of the game itself during this time. They didn't change monsters or do like, holiday themed like notorious monsters or anything like that. It was my link shell, like my guild, as it were. And it was our first Christmas season together. And our leader, Rusty Blade, was like, we should do a Secret Santa. And I'm like, idiot, how the hell can we do a Secret Santa? Like, it's impossible. Like, somebody has to mail something to somebody else, and nobody has to have the guy as a friend, because if you're using like one of your alternative accounts, it would say like Alex is logged in as Return to Mother Base, or it'd say Alex's return is logged in as Return to Mother Base 2. So you always knew who that was.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. I'll find a friend who will do an alt that nobody can track and all this other stuff, right? So he literally created another account, paying $15 for 1 month, just so we could do the Secret Santa. So everybody would mail him stuff, and then he would distribute it out to whoever was supposed to get it.
Was this in-game items or was this real
in-game items? In-game
Okay.
items only. So it was so funny. So at the time, the economy in Final Fantasy was terrible. And by that, I mean we had a lot of guild resellers. So there was inflation out the wazoo. Things that usually cost like 200,000 gil now cost 2 million gil.
Yeah.
So, of course, everybody's asking for high-end gear, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to pay for it. So I'm like, I want a Scorpion Harness +1. And he's like, are you out of your day? Scorpion Harness +1. I don't even have a normal Scorpion Harness. Are you out of your mind? That's like 10 million. That's ridiculous. So what's really funny is one of my buddies, he got somebody, he told me who he got, but it was somebody he didn't really like. So he's like, oh, dude, I know what I'm going to get him. And I was like, what are you going to get him? He's like, I'm going to send him iron, like iron ore, which is like, so he literally went to the mining area and literally mined. And I think we had to give 10 gifts. It was like, it was 8 gifts because we did all of November and leading into December. And then we had a Christmas party, which was really just like we all just got together and just talked, like on, at the time, TeamSpeak. And that was it.
Yeah.
So he literally gave somebody a stack of iron, which is valued at like 200 gil, like nothing for Christmas. And then people gave each other like food, like stuff to like for buffs. People, like I was in woodworking, so everybody had me make staffs for everybody, so like that was the gift. It was a staff made by somebody, stuff like that. And I actually got one of my really good friends. So at the time I was leveling up Clothcraft, which I got to 100 plus 6, which at the time was the highest level you could have. So I made him a special white mage exclusive tunic that had refresh on it, so he would always recover HP. So I made it for him and I signed it. So much like the joke with my friend Palpatine, now you have my name plastered across your chest. So he always wore it. Even if he was white mage, he always wore it. He never sold it, never gave it up. And when he quit still having that. Like, and that meant a lot. Because
cool.
I still talk to him to this day, actually.
That's neat.
Yeah, but like we always talk about that. It was like, oh yeah, remember that Secret Santa? I was like, yeah, I can't believe Rusty spent $15 for a month just to do this for us. Like he didn't have to do that at all.
Wow.
But he was very much like he looked at us like his extended family. So it's like, he was just like, he's like, come on, let's have some fun. And he's like, all right, next year, he's like, you can't just give people shit. You have to give people actual gifts, okay? No more iron, no more
bag of rocks.
Yeah, you could get pebbles. You could actually buy pebbles and just give them to people. Or lizard skins or something like that. And then it was really funny because he would, we used to prank each other too. Like, plant each other as level 1 characters in like high-end zones with like warp cudgels with like no charges on them, so you couldn't warp back. so you
Oh
had to
no.
run back. But like I always think of that time of the year. It's like, oh, good, they're changing the music, and I'm like, awesome, can't wait. It was so much fun.
That's cool. That reminds me of when I played World of Warcraft back in the day, and they had a very similar thing
They
where
did
they
cool
just had,
Christmas events when I played too. Yeah,
yeah, and everybody was throwing those snowballs at each other where
yeah.
you get snow on them and stuff. Yeah, I remember doing some of that stuff back in the day. That's fun.
The Halloween one was cool too. I
Oh,
remember when I
World of
played, that one was
Warcraft's
really good. Yeah,
yeah, Halloween season, that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. Everybody had the jack-o'-lanterns on their heads and stuff.
yeah, they had that in Final Fantasy as well. But I'm not a Halloween guy actually. I'm kind of like, is what it
Eh,
is.
it's fine.
All right, what's your next one?
All right, so next one I'm going to discuss is a game that I just happened to always play when I was like a preteen into a teenager during the holiday season, and that was Warcraft 2, since we're very close to talking about that. Uh, and I have a very specific memory of one house that we lived in, and we happened to have a little study off to the side near the front door, and it had a big old window to the left, and our computer was right there. And I remember it being snowing outside, and I was playing Warcraft 2, and you're in the levels where everything was covered in snow in that game.
I was gonna say I totally know where you're going with this. With where you had to like take a boat everywhere, right? Is that the one
Yeah,
you're
and you had the
thinking?
boats, and there was ice, and it was all wintry themed at the beginning of the game because it was, yeah, that's just where it was. It was the winter time, and that's one big memory. I just remember playing the music and hearing all the character grunts and phrases that they would say when you click on them and stuff like that, and just seeing all the buildings you would structure up that would be covered in snow. And one of the buildings, I can't remember which one, had some Christmas lights on it, and
That
I
was
can't remember.
that was for one of the orc ones, I think.
Was it the orc ones? Yeah, one of
It was
them.
the
Yeah, it
orc
could have
or
been.
was the gnomes? It was one or the other.
Yeah, it was one
I
of
think it
those.
was
It
the
could have been like
observatory.
the observatory, or what did they have, a laboratory or something? I can't
It
remember.
was the one with the huge telescope on top, I think it
Yeah,
was.
but it had lights on it, and I always thought
Yeah.
that was cool, and I was like, "This is awesome! I'm playing this at the right time." And so, what hit me off that was, I was like, "Man, it was just a couple of years ago." I was like, "You know what? I want to play some Warcraft 2. It's snowing outside, and I have this urge to play some Warcraft 2." And I went through the painstake of trying to get Warcraft 2 to work. And then it wasn't but 2 weeks later, Blizzard announced, hey, we're re releasing Warcraft 2. It's just the remaster, so you can play it on modern systems. Like, what the heck? This is awesome. All right.
I'm surprised you didn't get the GOG version.
I had played with that because in my house, I have mostly just Macintosh computers,
Oh,
and
got you.
they decided that they weren't going to play nice at all, even though all previous Blizzard games always had a Mac version, but these remasters did not. And I was like, what the hell? And then
That's weird.
GOG sometimes didn't work with the Mac either. So I recently did buy just a simple Puck PC, those little small ones with the powerful little Ryzen APU chips in it, so it could handle easy games, no problem. And then first thing I downloaded was Warcraft 2
You
Remaster.
should get some Diablo on that thing. I'm telling you.
I could.
Oh man, I played so much Warcraft 2 as a kid. Warcraft 3 too, and
Oh
World
yeah.
of Warcraft.
Hmm.
Um, but Warcraft 2, like I remember back in the glorious days of Windows XP, I
Yes.
would changed all of my system prompts to uh, the silly phrases from Warcraft.
Oh.
So every time I got a critical error, you would hear a Death Knight go, "Stop that infernal clicking."
Yes, my
Oh,
lord.
yes, my lord. Something to doing? Ruff,
Zug, zug.
ruff. Oh my god, that I miss that game. I miss old Blizzard.
Yeah, you're going to
I don't
download
think
Warcraft, or yeah, Warcraft 2 Remastered and play it.
Oh, it's actually quite good. It's really good on the Switch. Actually, I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah. But Warcraft 4 for me is where it's at, man. I just like all the explosions. Now, the next one for me is kind of weird because it's Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey.
Okay.
So let me paint this. Once upon a time, back in the glorious days of the 90s, Alex was a little bit of a jock, but not like a real jock. Like, Alex only played soccer, and that was it. And basketball. But Alex watched every sport except football, American football. He watched hockey, he watched basketball, he watched boxing, everything. Like, I would wake up and I would watch the ESPN highlight reels until I had to go to school, and I collected all the cards and I had my favorite teams and all that stuff. And NBA Jam was like the big sports game at the time, right? And I was playing NBA Live like 92, 93, 94, NHL 94, 95. I was into all of that. But there was never an arcade hockey game. And as much as I liked hockey, I kind of found the game to be very slow to watch, which is why I always watch the highlight reels, which is weird, right? It makes no sense. But
Yeah,
for
hockey
whatever
is
reason,
pretty
every time
fast
I think
sport.
back, to hockey at that time, there was just icing 9 times out of 10. It was so annoying, like a lot of
Okay.
stoppages. So somebody out of nowhere in Midway was like, "Hey, you know that NBA Jam, that NBA Hang Time thing kind of work? Let's do it with hockey." And they made Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey, which is essentially the NBA Jam equivalent of hockey, with Wayne Gretzky for branding, right? And it was on the N64. And this, I think, came out around the time the N64 came out, or at least in the same year leading into the holiday season. And I read about it in EGM, and I was like, oh my God, I have to play this. I have to play this. I was really, like, I was so into the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Rangers at the time, couldn't get enough of it. So I couldn't wait. So I'm at Blockbuster one night with my uncle, and they have Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey to rent. And I'm going to tell you, I have a feeling this was in November when I
That's fine.
rented this game. I don't think it went back until like December 23rd. Like, I played that game. I went through like, I don't even know how many seasons. My thumbs had blisters from that N64 joystick. I play anybody. People come over. Oh, let's play. No, we're gonna play Wayne Gretzky's 3 hockey. I was all about it, and I had so much fun playing that game. And I remember for Christmas, I asked for it. I said I want my own copy of Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. And my plan, because at the time Alex was a schnook, was to replace the cartridge with the N64 one so I could keep the one with all my stuff on it.
Ah.
Not realizing you can't take the Blockbuster sticker off the back, right? So eventually they called my uncle because he was the account holder, and they said, yo, you got to bring this back or we're going to bring you a small claims court, which is true. So I had to bring it back, and the late fee was like $150. That's how long I had it.
You could have bought the game twice.
I could have bought the game twice. But this is the thing. During that time, games were on cartridge more expensive than the CD stuff, right? So we're talking like $70 games, $80 games, which today would be like $100. But for whatever reason, there was a shortage of N64 cartridges at the time, or at least there wasn't a lot of production. So
Okay.
my parents had to order this game from a video game store out in California called the Game Cave, that they only found out about because of me, because they had an ad in the back of an EGM magazine.
Oh, shit.
And we had to mail them a check just to put into perspective how long ago this was. So my mom is like, ugh, if he wants this for Christmas, we're going to have to mail this check out like today
Uh-huh.
and pay for overnight shipping to get it from California because this is before Amazon. You
Yeah.
don't order it on Monday and get it Tuesday morning. You order on Monday and you hope it shows up by Tuesday of next week.
If you're
So,
lucky.
so my parents bought this $70 game, paid for overnight shipping
Oh,
so I could get it on Christmas. But to make it worth their while, because the shipping was expensive and they offer combo shipping, they got me one more game with it, which was Killer
man.
Instinct Gold.
Oh, all right. All right.
So between the two, my thumbs were destroyed
I bet.
that entire Christmas. Between the button mashing and the slamming, that was truthfully that's when I actually had to get a new. I had to get a new controller because I trashed the stick on the one that came with my console. But I loved Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey so much, and when I got it for Christmas, my mom's like, you've been playing this for like 5 fucking years. Why did you want this?
So awesome.
But my dad was like, he likes sports. It's okay. Let him play it.
So my question for you: do you still have the game?
No, that's one of the ones I refuse to rebuy for the N64
Really? Why is that?
because it's one of those games where I know if I had it, I wouldn't play it at this point. But
Okay.
I
Fair enough.
like the memory enough where I just want to leave it alone.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Next up for you.
All right. Next up for me. Let's see here. Okay, so mine's going to go back a little bit. It's a holiday season because um, it was Thanksgiving week, and I was off from school, and we lived next to a family of a pair of retired chiefs from the Air Force, and they were still working as civilians. So they had plenty of money, but they were the nicest neighbors we ever had in our lives. So oftentimes I would go over to their house, knock on their door, and ask the dad there. His name was Chappie. So I called, "Hey, Chappie, can I borrow a movie or can I borrow a game and stuff like that?" And he would be, "Oh yeah, sure, go ahead. You know where they are. Go grab one." So this Thanksgiving break, I went over there and saw that he had quite a few new Super Nintendo games. And one I never had heard of before and saw there was Super Mario RPG. I was like, "What
Ooh,
is this? This is cool. Can I borrow this? Are you playing it right now? Can I borrow it?" He's like, "You know what? No, I have just don't delete my save." And then, yes, you can borrow it. Okay, okay, I'll do that.
is that foreshadowing? I hear.
Actually, no, I was good. I was good to him. I made sure I didn't delete that save. Otherwise, he might not have loaned me any more games. Uh, so I took that and I remember playing that all Thanksgiving break. And I remember Thanksgiving morning, I was playing in the morning, just still hamming away at that game. And my parents would call me down, "Hey, come help us cook a little bit, come down and help us cook." And I remember going down there and I was opening a can of probably cranberry sauce or something. It was a can, with the sharp lid that comes up. I was in a bit of a hurry because I needed to get back to that game. Well, I sliced the tip of my finger clean off on the lid. And my
Oh
dad was
dear.
like, "God damn it. What are you doing, boy?" And helping cleaning it and keeping it
Well, that's
clean
what
and
you get
stuff
for
like
eating
that.
the canned cranberry sauce.
But luckily, we happened to live right behind our house. You could hop over a little chain link fence, and there's the fire department.
Oh, there you
So
go.
he took me right over there. He's like, "Will you get his fingers taped together or something for me, please?" So they just happened to just stitch it right there, because they're trained paramedics and all that. And what sucked was that is now my finger was horribly sore and it was a pain to play the game, because as a kid you held it, you had your little hands and they were always ripped out, and it was my middle finger that was completely, mutilated.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember having a hard time playing for a while, but I eventually returned the game. I think it was the week before Christmas after beating it, and that was a really good memory during the holiday seasons. I love that game a lot. And then when they did that remake on the Switch, a very good, faithful remake. I That brought back a lot of good memories.
Did you replay it or not yet?
Oh yeah, I went through it and beat it immediately. It didn't take. It's not a very long one, which is good. And
Which is
I
crazy
remembered a
because
lot of stuff.
as a kid, some of those games you're like, oh my god, I played this for like 12 years, and you're like, no, dude, Chrono Trigger is only like 10 hours long.
Yes. Oh man. If your future self could go visit your younger self, be like, "Man, this game is so long." And I'd be like, "You have no idea."
So hear me out here. So there actually is a phenomenon where the older you get, the reason why you always feels like time is moving faster is because biometrically your body actually adjusts to time. So it gets easier to quote unquote digest it, which is why it's like as a kid leading up to Christmas, it's like anxiety, insomnia, stomach aches, can't wait, can't wait. And now as an adult, you're like, Jesus Christ, it's December 23rd. It was only January a month ago. Like, what happened?
Yeah. I've heard another theory too is that because as a kid time seems slower is because you are learning things and experiencing things so much that time seems like it slows down a little bit. And as an adult, you already know a whole bunch. So things are the way they are. We do routine so much. We go to work, we do this. So time shrinks for us.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, like I remember like when that remake came out, I was like, I should really replay that. And I was like, oh, how long is it? And I was like, really?
It's like
Man, it took
15
me, I
hours.
feel like it took me like 6 months to get to the Axiom Rangers. Like, apparently you get there in
Yep.
an afternoon. Like, what the hell? So that's a good game though. That is absolutely brilliant. And for the record, I am team cranberry sauce from a can. That's how I was raised. Katie is team homemade. So
Oh,
so first holiday we shared together, like between our families, my parents hosted, and Katie's mom saw the canned cranberry sauce and was like having none of it. And my mom's like, "How come nobody's eating the cranberry sauce?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna be part of this argument." Like,
just give me a little bit, Mom.
it's like let's talk about politics instead. Anyway, so next game for me, and this one I got it for Christmas, but what makes it so much fun is not that I got it for Christmas. It's literally because everybody got it for Christmas, and that's Twisted Metal 2.
Oh, all right.
So at the time where I was living, I had like a small group of friends in school, and I had a small group of friends that lived in my building. So one of the kids, his name is Jesse, and he was younger than us. Let's say if I was 13, he was probably 10 or going on 10. But he hung out with kids older than him because poor dude, he was allergic to like everything. Like when he turned, I remember this when he turned 17, he called me. He was like, "Guess what?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I can eat dairy now." Like he outgrew that allergy.
Oh, wow.
And it was like the most exciting thing for him.
I
And
bet.
then when he was like 20, he was like, "I can eat salmon." Like the poor kid was just born and he had asthma. He was born with like a billion allergies. But
Mm.
as a result, all the crazy fitness and specialty diets and tofu and all that stuff, I learned it from him because that's what he had to eat. So his parents, realizing, oh, Alex is a pretty like, level kid. He's not going to get him in trouble. We used to hang out all the time, and he lived in my building. I get in the elevator, he'd go to his house, he'd come to my house. He got a PlayStation, and I got a Sega Saturn at one point, right? So between the two of us, we were covered. Then for Christmas, I got a PlayStation and Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal 1 because I was that late. And he got Twisted Metal 2. My friend Pat got Twisted Metal 2. Our friend Hakan, which is a Turkish name, also got Twisted Metal 2. So all of us got Twisted Metal too. And what do you think we would do? We would just go from apartment to apartment having Twisted Metal tournaments over and over again, playing through the entire game over and over again. And be like, oh no, dude, didn't we have this ending? No, it was on your save game. Go get your memory card. Okay, and then someone would run back to their apartment, get the memory card. It was such a mess. But we had so much, literally going from one house to another. Literally doing the same thing over and over again. It was just like we're changing the environment. Like if my parents were like, oh, you kids have been sitting in front of the TV for 5 hours, like, dude, let's go to your house. Your mom hasn't seen us sit in front of the TV over there for a bit. It's like, yeah, good point. We go, all right, we're going to Jesse's house. She'd be like, oh, thank God they're going outside. And go over there, park right in front of his TV and do the same thing. And then his mom would come, don't you kids like want to go play sports or something? Yo, you want to go to Hot Con's house? Yeah, let's go to Hot Con. Bring your memory card. And we just take everything with us and go to the next one. We played that game to death.
Wow.
Like, when I say we all unlocked everything. Like, and if you couldn't beat it with a character, be like, hey, can you come over to my house and beat it with Mr. Grimm? Yeah, sure, no problem.
Oh, wow.
One of the best bonding moments I ever had over a game. It was so much fun.
That's cool. All right. I guess my last one comes later in life. I had just graduated high school, and I had a new girlfriend who is now my wife.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, kind of high school sweethearts, pretty close there. So the Christmas season was coming around, and my birthday is near Christmas as well. So my girlfriend then bought me a Game Boy Advance and Goku's Legacy, if you guys remember that Dragon Ball game.
What a game.
But the thought blew me away. I was like, what, you buying me a video game system? And you know I love Dragon Ball? You're the best person ever, you know? So I love that. I still have both to this day, my original Game Boy Advance and that cartridge of Goku's Legacy.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I played through and beat. You know, it's not a terribly good game. It's okay, really. It's interesting on how you would control your characters and the way you played the game as Goku and stuff like that. But yeah, one of my favorites is just that she got me well enough, you know, after only dating for about probably 7 months at the time, understood what I was into and embraced it and, and bought me a handheld video game system that I didn't have and a cool game to match. So that's one of my favorite memories.
Yeah, Katie got me an NES and was like, I'm never buying you a video game again. So that was 5 for you, or was that 4?
That should have been 5. Let's see here. 1. Nope, I'm missing 1. You're right.
Okay, I was about to say.
I have notes.
I'm not going
I have
crazy
notes
here. All right. I love that. That's great. So my number 4 is, again, it's Christmas season. So video games, when we grew up, obviously it was kind of a nerdy hobby. Yeah. But at the time, the Sci-Fi Channel, if you remember the old Sci-Fi Channel, SCI-Fi, not SYFY.
I do. Used
to have a video game show that basically just showed trailers. I don't even remember the name of it.
It was kind of like
X-Play before X-Play.
Yeah. Damn, I don't remember.
But it was basically just an infomercial. It's just like, hey, guess what's coming out? You know, Totally Wild, Extreme 2. You know, like stuff like that. So it was, I think it was like every Saturday, because I remember my uncle, he recorded it for me because I was always at like soccer practice or something at the time. And then when he came by afterwards, he'd be like, oh, here, I recorded it for you. So I was watching it, and there was a trailer for a game I'd never heard of. But it attributed to so many things I enjoyed. Cartoons, zaniness, and Christopher Lloyd. And that game was Toonstruck, which is a point-and-click adventure where Christopher Lloyd, who is an animator, has to design the new Fuzzy Bun Bun show before a deadline. By the way, his boss is Ben Stein. It's all motion captured. And he falls asleep, I think, and somehow ends up in his own creation, which is a cartoon world that he created. And it's a traditional point-and-click adventure with a digitized version of Christopher Lloyd walking around this entire cartoon landscape.
This sounds awesome, and I'm very mad that I've never heard of this before.
Now, here's the cuckoo thing about it. At the time, I thought, oh, this is so cool. And it classic point-and-click nonsense. You know, you can't figure it out. You need a walkthrough. It's on GOG. So I bought it, of course. I started to replay it several years ago. I'm watching the credits. They got the who's who of voice actors at the time, man.
Really?
Everybody. The dude who does Homer. They had archival footage from Mel Blanc. Like, all these guys. Like, all the big Disney guys. The Looney Tunes guys. Everybody's in it. It's like a who's who of celebrities.
That's cool.
It's no wonder that the studio went bankrupt right after, because it was done by Virgin. That was probably the only way they got enough money to do it.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Christopher Lloyd's in it. He kills it because he's Christopher Lloyd. And you could tell he's in front of a green screen, and he's completely awkward about the whole thing because he keeps looking around like, what am I looking at? Like, but I got that for Christmas because of that trailer. Because I told my uncle, cool. I showed it to him. I was like, look at this. And he was just like, you know, he looks at me, goes, oh, it's Doc Brown. It's the guy from Taxi. Okay. And then he's like, oh, no, like, Alex, this is like right up your alley. This looks great. And then I'm playing it, and it's point-and-click adventure logic. And I was like, I can't figure this out. So, you know, I'm playing through it with the guide, literally going page by page. And the reason why this strikes a chord with me so much, it's around Christmas time. I'm sitting there with the guide. I'm playing it. I'm enjoying this game like you wouldn't believe. And there's a joke within one of the puzzles where you have to bribe like a guard. So the guard doesn't want any of the items. I'm clicking around. I'm finally like, all right, let me look at the strategy guide. And I have to get this thing called Shabless. And I'm reading, I'm like, Shabless? Uncle Don, what's Shabless? He's like, what are you talking? And then he looks and goes, oh, that's Chablis. Chablis? You have to give him wine? Do you even know what wine is? I'm like, yeah, Mom drinks it all the time. And then he just goes, oh, I need to have a conversation with your mother. Like, so he goes over to my mom and he tells her Alex is playing a game where he has to bribe somebody with wine. And my mom goes, good, he should learn now before it's too late. But I love that game so much. It's like $4 on GOG. And I think it works on Mac. You have to check it out. It's so cool. Like, awesome. Even if you don't play, just watch trailers. You'll be like, oh, my God. Like
Tim Curry does a voice, too?
Yeah, he's the villain.
Oh, my goodness. It's on Steam as well, it looks like.
It is so crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pick that up.
It's literally the who's who at the time. Everybody that could be in it was in it. The only one I think that isn't in it is Robin Williams.
That's so cool. Ben Stein, too. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's the boss. He's like, can we have it by tomorrow? And, you know, Christopher Lloyd's like, oh, hi. All the acting is over-exaggerated. Like, he's falling. He's doing, like, the Nick Arcade thing. It's so funny.
That's awesome.
One of my favorite points. I would love to have that physically, actually, again. Because even the box art is kind of cool.
Yeah, get that big box with it. That'd be sweet.
All right,
All
what's your
right,
next
man.
one?
Now we're on to my last one.
There you go.
So this is going to go back to when I was a kid, and I believe this was the very next Christmas after I got my Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country set. And I guess apparently the parents probably had a good year financially that year because I got a gift, and it was just this box. It was about probably like 4 inches wide, by 6 inches. I'm like, what is this? I wasn't sure, and I was shaking it. Couldn't tell what the hell it was. Well, when I ripped it open, they tricked me. There was two Super Nintendo game boxes taped together inside of there. I was like, oh, I hit the mother load. One side, I had Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I was like,
Classic.
sweet. And then I flipped it over, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. I was like,
Ooh.
oh, I'm in heaven. I was so excited. I was done. I didn't need to open any more presents. I was ready to go to my room and pop these bad boys
See you after Christmas break.
in. Yeah. I don't think I ever beat Diddy Kong's Quest, Donkey Kong Country 2. I still need to go back and actually finish that one. That one was actually pretty hard. But I remember going straight through Yoshi's Island and loving that, and my mom being pissed if I had the volume up in that game because she didn't want to hear that damn baby cry anymore. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was one of my best, good big presents, because those, like you said, you mentioned it before, these games are 70, $80 a pop.
Yeah,
Back
I
then.
remember when I got Chrono Trigger, it was like I had to save up my nickels for it. It was like I think it was like a $90 game at the time.
Yeah, and one of these might have been $90. I don't know. There's a Nintendo first party. Who
Probably
knows?
Yoshi's Island because that has the FX chip in it. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I got that one year for Christmas, and I'm not a big Yoshi guy. That's the one Yoshi game I give a pass to.
Same here. I've tried playing so many others. It doesn't jive with me. But the way the controls were in Yoshi's Island, primo. I
Oh,
loved it.
it looks so good too.
Yeah.
Loved it. Oh man, yeah, and like you said, like getting two games, it's like
Uh
mother
huh.
load.
Exactly.
All right, my last one, and this is just more so time and place. So I'm gonna lead off with a question. Did your parents ever, at one point, like let's say you did something really really well at school, and it's around the now mind you, your birthday's around Christmas, so I know it's a little different. Did they ever just say, you know what, let's give him one of his gifts early? Like, you got a good report card. We're not going to take him out or do anything special. Just give him one of his gifts early. Just pick one. Did your parents ever
Absolutely.
do that?
Yeah, it happened. It
Do you
was
remember
never the
any games
primo
they
gift.
gave you?
It was
Do you
never a
remember?
primo gift. It
Was
was
there?
always a little lesser gift. Oh, look at that. You didn't. Everything was B's and A's. That's impressive for you. You know what? Dad's gonna go pick out one of your presents from under the tree, and you can have it early. But it was never like the good shit. Like video games or something. But it was cool stuff. It was usually like a board game or something like that. But as a kid, I enjoyed board games, so I was pleased when I got a board game and stuff like that.
Okay. So, this is why I'm asking. So, my grammar school, we used to do a Christmas pageant every year. And, again, went to a Catholic school, so what do you think it is? It's the birth of Christ, the nativity and this whole thing. And because my school was grades K through 8, they couldn't just do a straight up, like, everybody stand around a major and just hang out for 2 hours so the parents can see the kids, right? So the little kids would do a procession. The younger grades, namely mine, we would stand up in front of everybody and we would recite a Christmas poem. And we didn't have the words in front of us because the nuns insisted that we memorize it. Now, mind you, this is also where Alex thought maybe he wanted to go into acting as a profession when he was a little kid, because this was the first time I had to memorize my lines.
Okay.
Now, future years, you didn't have to do the poem. Instead, you could be a nation, meaning you got to wear like traditional garb of like, a country of your background, like, kids from Peru would have like, the different setup with the flag and stuff like that. The kids from Ireland would dress up appropriately. The German kids pretty much just wore Christmas outfits and, they would show up. And then the Mary, Joseph, and the apostles and the wise men, because the apostles somehow showed up, those were played by the 8th and 7th graders. So pretty much the older you got, the less responsibility you had. Meanwhile, 5th grade actually had to read Psalms and everything and dress up like the Pope. So this was a very long-winded affair. Like we're talking, you had to do this 3 nights in a row, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Whoa.
So this was a lot. And it was 3 hours long. This was a lot. And my parents wanted to go to every single one.
Oh.
So I had to go up and perform. Now, mind you, I started in this school in 1st grade, so I was saying this fucking poem for 3 years. And this one year, for whatever reason, my grade, nobody had nobody had like, reading retention. So the lines were always messed up. The rehearsals always ran long. We had to slow down the pace. And basically, I'm standing up there in penny loafers on the altar of this church for like 6-7 hours a day, followed by the 3-hour Christmas pageant 3 days in a row. So I ended up with blisters on my feet. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I told my mom, I kid you not, I said, we should sue the school because my feet are messed up. Mom's like, oh, what the hell is this workers' comp bullshit? Like get in the cab. Like, what is this nonsense? So we get home, and I'm actually limping. Like, I legitimately screwed up, like, the sole of my foot because I was a dainty lad, right? Like, I'll just call it how it is. So my parents felt bad, and my mom's like, let's give him one of his Christmas gifts early. So they asked my uncle, because my uncle is very specific when it comes to Christmas gifts. So they're like, listen, Alex is doing the Christmas pageant. And he's like, I know, I've recorded all 3 of them. And my mom's like, yeah, I know. And she's watching the footage. She goes, oh, no, like, Alex is shuffling. Like, he really did mess up his feet. So my mom's like, we're going to give him a Christmas gift early. So he's like, oh, okay, give him one of mine. Which on paper to me is exciting because my uncle always gave me the video games. This particular year, he decided to change it up and not just get me video games. He decided to take a page out of my mom's book and get me some clothes. So my uncle, very old school guy, pajama pants, pajama shirt, slippers, and a pajama robe. Right?
Okay.
Like, we're talking like 1940s, like, nightcap with, like, the candle and the thing, right? Like Scrooge from Disney Christmas Carol. That's how, literally, all the times you watch me, you show up with this getup. I'd be like, what is this, from fucking Industrial Revolution? This is ridiculous. So this year, he decided to get me a pajama robe and matching pajamas. So this is what I got as my we're sorry you got hurt on the job gift. Let's just call it how it is.
Yeah.
So my mom is like, I want to take a picture of you in front of the tree. So I put on the whole thing. I'm standing in front of the tree. Now, mind you, this is a red robe with like black, like collars and stuff like that.
Okay.
She takes a picture on the Polaroid. And my other uncle, my Uncle Jeff, shows up. And, he's much younger. And my mom's like, oh, yeah, Alex got this from Donald. What do you think? He looks at it and goes, why the hell does he look like Hugh Hefner? And my mom's looking at it. She goes, "Holy shit, you're right. He looks like the guy from Playboy." So, and Jeff, I love Jeff. He goes, it'd be really fucking funny if we got the kid to do the Christmas pageant poem in front of the tree wearing this robe. So, my parents bribed me to do this with the with the concept of me getting another gift early. So I'm like, I hate that. To this day, if mind you, I'm 41. If I see Jeff and I go, "Oh, it's Christmas time," he'd go, "Oh yeah, oh sweetest baby Jesus, how cold I was that night." And if I was beside you, I'd hold you really tight. I'm like, "Why do you still know this?" I'm like, "Why do you still like?" I know why I know this, because it got drilled into my brain for 3 years. But my mom calls my uncle, and she goes, "Listen, I was talking to Jeff. We're thinking we're going to have Alex wear the robe and everything, stand in front of the Christmas tree, and recite the Christmas poem." And he's like, "I'm coming over. I'm going to bring the camera." So he recorded it.
Oh.
And my dad still has the tape.
Oh.
And when I, and what's going on with my dad. So when I mentioned to Jeff, like, that tape is still over there, he's like, "You have to put it on a fucking DVD."
Save it.
So I'm like, absolutely not. That thing has to catch fire. It is so bad. So my parents tell me this is what they're going to do. Then my mom tells my uncle, we're giving him a gift after this whole ordeal. So there's two versions of me. There's one of me standing in front of the tree, and then there's one of me sitting in front of the tree and my mom's like armchair thing. So I just look like a pimp. This is like, it's the most stupid thing for an 8-year-old to ever do. And it's totally for them. It has nothing to do with me. So my uncle is like, "Okay, we're going to give him a real gift this time. I'm not going to give him the rest of the clothes." So they give me a Nintendo game.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what this long-winded story? Do you want to guess what Nintendo game this was?
Okay. Mickey Mouse Capade.
No, good game, but no. Has an M in it.
It does have an M.
Has man in the title.
Oh, it's a Mega Man. But which one?
Mega Man 2.
Ooh, nice.
And that is where I discovered my love of Bubble Man music. Literally, my mom has a picture of me in that robe sitting in my room playing Mega Man 2.
Hey, you were cozy and warm.
I was cozy and warm, and I look like a fucking douchebag. We're playing Mega Man 2 in this red goddamn Christmas robe. But I was like, this was worth it. This was worth like the embarrassment. Like, this was absolute. I love Mega Man 2. I have never beaten to this day, but it is easily one of my favorites. Not because it's the best one, but just because of the Bubble Man music and the stage. That's like my favorite Mega Man stage of all time.
That's cool.
And I had another friend in my building, and I went over there with Mega Man 2 because he didn't have it, and we were playing it. And then, I told him, "Oh, yeah, you could borrow it." I borrowed Mickey Mouse Capade from him. And then one day I call him up. I tell my mom, "Oh, I want to go over to his house so I can return and get my game back." Find out the motherfucker moved. And he took my
What?
game with him. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So when I got into game collecting with YouTube, that's when I rebought Mega Man 2.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
Has Katie seen the video?
No, but she knows the poem. She's heard Jeff recite it on my behalf a couple of times. She's like,
Okay.
"How's that start?" He'd be like, "Oh, yeah, oh, sweetest baby Jesus, how cold I was that night." And I'm like, "Oh, my God, shut up." It's like I've never lived it down. I've been dealing with this for like 30 some odd years. Everybody knows it. But yeah, but you see, this is like the fun thing to me. It's like we both have very different memories, but there's always like a themality to it because I feel like a lot of it ties back into family stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And even
Absolutely.
in the case of your neighbor, it's like, the way you talked about him, I'm like, you considered him family, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I still sometimes talk to them to this day too.
Really?
They'll send me a Christmas card, and usually send them a Christmas card every year.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we don't do Christmas cards. I get them, but
Yeah,
I think it's more so. I think my family never did Christmas. My mom did Christmas cards. My dad, not so much.
yeah. They make them dumb easy nowadays. That's probably the only reason we do it. Go on to Shutterfly or whatever, load up a couple pictures on there, type it out, and they even mail it for you. So,
Oh no, my mom would be like, I have to call out sick so I can do the Christmas cards.
oh yeah, and hand write all the messages and the
All of them.
stories in them, all of them.
That's why she was so excited when I learned how to write in script. She's like, Alex, you want to help me do Christmas cards? I'd be like, absolutely not. Oh man, but yeah, so much of this is fun, and that's what ties into the game du jour: Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. I'm just gonna come out and ask you right off the muscle: did you play this in 8-bit mode or HD mode?
Mostly HD mode. I
Oh,
did I did play a bit of it in the 8-bit mode because I thought it was cool. But the thing that drew me into the HD mode was some of the music and the sounds that came out of it that were directly from the old cartoon. And
fair.
that hit me pretty good on the nostalgia feels of the Rugrats cartoon that I used to watch when I was a kid. So, but I definitely played some in 8-bit because it was pretty cool too.
I played the whole thing exclusively in 8-bit mode because
Oh,
after that first level, I was like, oh no, if I got this for Christmas as a kid, man, like it would definitely be during the Nintendo era, and this would
yes.
definitely be what that experience was. And then the platforming kicked in, and some of the levels towards the end, I was like, why is this fucking Nintendo hard? Like,
We were trained to beat this game. My
yeah.
son would have given up probably in 5 minutes because of the platforming difficulties in this one.
I asked Katie if Katie saw me play. She goes, "Oh wow, this looks so cool." And then towards the end, she's like, "Yeah, I'm not playing it. Nope, nope. That's all you." And I'm just like literally during, which is crazy because the last boss is stupid easy, but the level
Yeah.
is terrible. Um, the last level I kept like not dying, but like I kept having to like farm bottles to get HP back. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just like I beat Celeste. Why can't I make this jump? Like what the hell?
Oh man, it happens so much. Yeah, there were points in the game, especially later, where it's exactly what you were doing, where I would sit there and stop. I'd be like, "Oh, this is a good place to get bottles, so I can get all my babies back up to full health."
Now, of all the babies, can we just agree that Phil is useless?
He reminds me he's Toad of Super Mario Brothers 2. He was
Yeah.
slightly faster and had a weak ass jump, but he could
Yeah.
throw things the furthest.
Yeah, and Chucky is essentially Luigi. I kept Mr.
Yes.
Finster alive the whole time.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
but it was fun. Like it did remind me of the show. I do think, like I said, like I pretty much played in the 8-bit mode because when we figured out we were playing this, I was like, oh no, like I'm gonna take it back. Like I'm gonna take it. Like if I have that option, I'm gonna do full blown 8-bit music, all that stuff, and I'm really gonna feel like a big kid. And for me, it was even though I was super frustrated by the end, it was very refreshing because it was very quick, it was very breezy, but it also just, again, if we played this as kids, we get frustrated, but we keep playing it because that was the only game we got for Christmas,
Exactly.
or
It
one
was
of
the
three.
original get good. You had to get good because this is all you were playing.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, of all the bosses, which one was the biggest pain in the ass for you?
All right, I gotta try to think of all the bosses here real quick. So you
And
had
the bosses, they all appeared in the show, right?
yeah, there were all of the shows. So you had the big baby guy.
Yeah,
You
who I
had
forgot. I remember him.
Yeah,
And then
I
the
remember
Jack
him
in the
too.
Box or the clown thing. I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember some of the episodes with that one, and then the gorilla and the like the little like kind of Power Ranger colored guys. They were like the action figure toys.
Yeah, that one
That
I
one
didn't
was
remember.
super easy. I didn't have problems with that one. I think at first it was the gorilla one I had some troubles with. I was like, I don't know what to do.
I
I
had to
wasn't
look.
sure what
One
to
of the
do.
bosses I had to look up how to do it. I was like, really? That's it? I think it was a grill boss because you have to like climb up it like Donkey Kong, and then you can actually fight him.
Right. Yeah. And you had to actually throw things at, was it, you had to throw things at him or was it a different boss you had to throw things
That
at?
was a different boss, but you had to like jump on. It was. I was just like, some of these mechanics just don't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
But again, Nintendo hard, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was fun. I don't understand how it came out at $40. To be fair.
It's definitely not a $40 game. And I'm glad I caught it. I was going to sit here and I was like, oh, it's on sale on Amazon. I'll pick it up for $30. And then I was like, hold on, let me check digitally real quick. And it was on sale on PlayStation for $10.
Heaven forbid digital
I know.
nonsense.
I was like, this is not my MO, but at 75% off, I'm going to just grab it real quick.
Yeah. So and that's another thing I want to say here. So let's say you were to give this to your kid for Christmas, right? Let's say you were to give them a console. As a parent back in the day, you literally just had to give the kid a box and then they would have at it.
Yeah.
Or you would hook it up and then they would have at it. As a parent today, if you got your kid a console, do you feel like it's appropriate for you to open it, do all the updating and all that stuff, and then give it to him?
Yeah. Yep. Still to this day. I mean, if he was a little older, he'd probably be more than ready for it, but he would still have to come to me. Dad, I need the internet password on this.
Do it
Stuff.
yourself.
But yeah, I today, yeah, I have to set it up. Like when I got the Switch 2 for his birthday because it was the same month it came out. So I went to stores to find one for his birthday. I wasn't going to get one at first, but I wanted to get him one because he was kind of excited for it. It was like the first console he was legitimately excited for, brand new to come out, that he knew he would play because he already had a bunch of Switch games. So I had to set that up for him because, there's so many accounts to log into. I have to log him into his Nintendo account. I have to get it online. I have to make sure, the whatever the your annual service for Nintendo is, and make sure it's all working and all the software's downloaded and all that crap. So definitely not like when we were kids. Here's the box. Oh, sweet. And we rip this sucker out, pop in the game. I'm good to go.
Yeah, and that's what I felt like this Rugrats game was. It was literally like pop it in, no wasted time, tutorial levels, basically your first level in any Nintendo game, and then you're off to the races. So
Exactly.
it was kind of refreshing in that regard, but I also, again, I don't think this is like a $30, $40 game. This is like a $20 game if you want it on a disc. And I think there's a NES version too, like a
I
proper
think I
NES
think it
version.
was probably Limited Run who did it, but yeah, I think they did an NES cart for it.
But I do. It did make me. I don't think it's the same team, but it did make me want to check out those AVGN ones too. Actually.
Yeah, which is funny is I just watched Joe from GameSack just talk about the latest AVGN game. He was said he was really enjoying it, and part of the problem was how difficult it was.
Oh, I was gonna say if Joe likes it, that means a lot because Joe doesn't like a lot of anything.
Yeah, he overall enjoyed it because it gives you a bone by unlimited continues, but you it was difficult.
All right, so I think this was a perfect game for like in terms of the Christmas spirit, the nostalgia. Like we grew up with like Christmas specials, the Rugrats. Like half of the characters were Jewish, so like I remember seeing like a Christmas episode, but like half the cast had yarmulkes on, which
Yep,
is
I remember that.
which I learned about because For those of you who don't know, my family is a third Catholic, a third Muslim, and a third Jewish.
Oof.
Yeah. So one person converted to marry somebody who was Jewish, and then my dad was Muslim, my mom was Catholic. So I understand all three.
There you go. Very
So
well done.
seeing that as like a kid, I was like, oh, I know what this is, and it was. I mean, I'm also from New York, but it was like, it was. We saw it, nobody thought anything of it, but I do remember, like, looking up something years later. People were confused why this was done, or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I
we're
learned
gonna
a
end
lot of
on.
money.
But we're gonna end on a negative note. Because the
All right.
last thing, because we all can't have fun and lollipops over here on the Video Games Gaiden Return to Mother Base program. One game that you would purge from your Christmas memories,
Yes.
and
Okay.
why?
All right. This will go back. I was a teenager. I want to say. So this had to have been after I got my first job, which was when I was 16. So I was probably 17. I had already got a PlayStation and I was playing some of the big RPGs, Final Fantasy VII, a couple others on there too. And my grandma found out, what do you want? And I was like, oh, I got a new PlayStation. So if you want to give me a PlayStation game, that'd be great. Bad idea. Not a good idea to tell your grandma that you need a new PlayStation game. They have
No,
no
I was
idea.
about to say that was your first mistake.
Yep. So she probably went to some electronics store, Best Buy or Circuit City at the time or something like that, and said, my grandson needs a PlayStation game. Well, the PlayStation games are over there. So she probably waddled over there and just grabbed one that had some outrageous cover on it. And she did do that. And I opened it up, and the game was called Wild 9. And
That's not too bad though. Not good, but a lot better than I thought.
it could have definitely been worse. But the problem was, I was like, wow, man, okay, I don't even know what the hell this is. I've never heard of it. You know, popped it in, and I was doing this, energy grabbing enemies and, throwing them into traps and all this other stuff. Its whole gimmick was to just, grab things and just throw it around and stuff like that. And I probably played it for 10 minutes. I was like, huh, okay, that's a game, and I'd put it away, and then I'd play whatever other game I was playing, probably like Monster Rancher or something. Let me see what Wild 9 turns into as a monster. And I probably played it a couple more times. It just did not grab me at all. I was like, this kind of sucks. I think she found this in the bargain bin.
Probably did.
So
Oh my
yeah,
god.
that was one memory. I was like, that was a shit game I got as a teenager that I never really appreciated, because my dad did better, because he bought me like Tony Hawk 2. And I was like, oh, now this is fun.
And if you weren't into that, at least the soundtrack was good. Um,
Exactly.
so mine, so my godmother, she had a son who was about my age. His name was Greg, and truthfully, it's like we never really saw them that much. Like, it's just like different walks of life, everybody's schedule, blah blah blah. But my godmother is my mom's oldest friend. So my mom, every year, we'd send them Christmas cards, we'd send gifts for the kids and whatnot, and they would reciprocate. So one year, I guess they found out I got a Genesis, and they decided to ask Greg, what sort of game should we buy Alex for Christmas? And Greg is big into sports. And at the time, Alex is not big into sports. And it wasn't until later. But of all the sports that Alex has watched in his lifetime, his least favorite to watch and play is baseball. because I find it inherently boring, which is a point of contention in this house because Katie and her dad are diehard Yankee fans. So during baseball
Oh,
season, I can't say anything negative about the sport unless I want a whipping, and not the good kind. So my, we'll call him cousin, said, "Oh, let's get Alex a sports game." And my godmother's like, "Wonderful. What's his favorite sport?" And he says, "Baseball." And that's how I got Tony La Russa Baseball on the Sega Genesis.
that was the one I was gonna guess. It was gonna be Tony La Russa.
I fucking hate that game so much. I never struggled so hard to at least hit a ball in any game. The only baseball game other than Bases Loaded that I ever enjoyed was fucking Ken Griffey winning run. To put it
Oh,
in
okay.
perspective, the most arcadey of baseball games. This was a simulation. I don't even know who Tony La Russa is to this day.
I
Okay?
do,
Good for
but
you, because I don't. All I know is it came in a huge ass cartridge because it was an EA game and the manual was like this thick and it's literally like hit A to swing. And I'm like, what the hell's a screwball? What the hell's a split? I don't know what any of this means. I'm just throwing balls and it says ball one, ball two, ball three. Because I'm throwing them away from the guy because I'm thinking if he can't reach the ball, he can't hit it. Hate that game so much. Eventually, I learned about baseball. I learned the rules of baseball, and I joined a little league, and I went back to play Tony La Russa baseball. And guess what? Still hated it. Worst game I ever got for a Christmas. It
was
sat on the
no.
shelf. It sat on the shelf because it was impressive. People were like, "Oh, you got one of those big games, one of those big ones, the big manual." You'd be like, "Yeah, it's like a freaking Bible over there. It's crazy." How's the game though? Sucks.
It's no bases loaded. I tell you what.
There's no baseball stars either.
Hell no.
But yeah, Tony La Russa baseball, man. He got better. I think 2 years later he got me NHL in '97. I was like, okay, now he knows. He knows hockey. Hockey's my thing, which it
Give me
isn't at
those
all
hockey
now.
games.
It's so random. Like people are like, you watched hockey, like knowing who I am now, and I'm like, yeah. Like now I don't even know who's who. Now it's boxing. That's my favorite one to watch.
Boxing, huh? Okay.
I
I'm
just
an
like the
NFL
psychology. I like the
NFL
psychology.
hockey guy.
Yeah, no, I like the psychology in boxing,
Okay.
which there is a lot of. Like a lot of people don't realize it. Like it's like basically I describe this to my boss and my boss is like that's kind of frightening. Like they're like, how come they always don't just hit somebody like in the face, right? Like I'm like, because there is a fear of concussion. So the idea is if you knock the wind out of them, you're weakening the air to the brain. So if you give them jabs, you're basically giving them mini concussions so that you're not giving them a concussion, but you're getting them disoriented enough where they're knocked out, but they're actually not knocked out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so there's like a that, which is why you watch old school boxing, people are dying.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, he's wobbly. Never mind, the match is over. Like that's it. But it's actually really like when you watch them, like all that conditioning, they're actually like measuring and everything else. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then you watch the Tyson Logan Paul fight, and it's like,
Oh,
ugh.
yeah. I had the pleasure of watching that.
Yeah, so did we. I even told Kay, I said, this is they're doing this for money, like literally.
Yep.
It was terrible.
After first round, you're like, oh, this is a money match. Boring.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those too. I'm not gonna lie, but when you see like actual like legit boxing, you'd be surprised like how much thinking they're doing. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so that's it for the Video Games Gaiden Christmas Special. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock, something, something, something. All sounds like schlock. So, are you and the are you and the family doing anything fun or just the usual holiday merriment?
We're just gonna do the usual holiday merriment this year. We decided not to go anywhere this year, save a few bucks, and just hang out here at home. But
With the five
that'll just make it a
trees.
little more special with maybe the gifts, I guess, since we're saving some travel funds.
I still can't believe you have five trees.
Oh yeah, I dig that stuff, man. If the wife let me, I'd put them up after Halloween.
Maybe if they were real, maybe you could.
Oh,
All right. Well, it was always a pleasure to have you on. I don't have anything lined up for a future game because I'm afraid if I pick something, you're just gonna be like, ugh, too hard, can't figure it out.
no, don't do that to me. We got to do a future game, but we'll have
I
to
don't have
figure
I don't
that
have
out.
I don't have the roulette lined up, but we'll pick something out. We'll figure something out for next time. Maybe the game we didn't pick for
Okay,
this, if you want to do that.
visions.
Yeah. So next time will be Visions of Mana, everybody.
There we go.
That could be the game we play over Christmas break, and then we can reminisce about the past 5 days of time, of time off, where we're basically just commiserating over the bills that we got from the credit card companies following Christmas shopping.
There we go.
All right, so I mean everybody knows where to find you unless anything new's cooking.
Yeah, it's all the same. You know where to find me. Emperor Fox. Easy peasy.
All right, and to everybody else, happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, please enjoy it. Spend time with the family. Hold those you love dear. And we'll all see you in the next episode when hopefully we both finish Visions of Mana. See ya.
Sounds great. See ya.